Welcome to The Cynical Developer, the podcast that helps you to improve your development knowledge and career through explaining the latest and greatest in development technology and providing you with what you need to succeed as a developer. We've recently launched our Patreon page, which can be found at cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon. If you aren't familiar with Patreon, it's an easy way for those who are interested in this show to help out by simply pledging a small amount each month in sponsorship. Now that could be as little as $5 a month, which is about £3.80, or as much as you like. You will enable us to dedicate more time creating more content to help you, including videos, more blog posts, and even more shows. So if you can, head over to cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon and get involved. In this episode, we talked to hackers at Hack24 about their experience at the event. We're now joined by Matt Brunt at Hack24. Welcome to The Cynical Developer, Matt.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you for taking some time out away from your hack, especially this late in the game.
Yeah, it's last few hours. It always gets a little bit tense.
Yeah, definitely. We're lucky as a team to be a little bit more ahead than we were this time last year.
We're much in the same position, so
Yeah.
I'm feeling a lot more relaxed this year than last year, so it's nice.
Awesome. It's good to know that it's not just us that were a little bit panicky last year. So, just to give the listeners a little bit of an idea about who you are, because there's a massive mix of different people at this event. What do you do for a living? What's your job?
So my kind of official title is senior developer and technical evangelist. I run a team of developers. We build back-end systems for financial institutions, credit unions and whatnot. What that means day to day is I effectively make sure that my team can do their job. I work with a lot of apprentices and do a lot of mentoring. And as part of the technical evangelist side of things, I get a lot of paid time off to go speak at conferences, groups, and it's quite a nice position.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
It does sound pretty cushy, that. So, you come with a team. What is the name of your team?
We are Team Redacted.
Right.
We changed our team last year. We had 4 people from previous year, and one of them couldn't make it, so we got someone else on. So we changed our team name last year, and then this year we just decided to do something cool. And then when we heard there were stickers being available, we thought that would be quite a cool thing to have on a sticker, maybe. And it worked out quite nicely because Rick and the Startup Stickers team did a really killer job with the stickers they've done this year. So we're quite pleased with them.
Yeah. The team stickers are pretty good. And last year our team name was Abstract Sausage Factory because we came up with a lot of random names. One of the team members wasn't that concerned, just came up with a random thing, put it in, and of course that's what got picked out.
It's very enterprise, that.
Yeah. So this year we're like, right, we need to pick another name, and me and him couldn't decide. We sort of put it to a vote to the team, and it was a 50-50 between 2 different names, and in the end the Merge Conflicts was the name, and then there was some CSS, which was his suggestion of a name that became the strapline. So our logo is a little bit complicated, so it's a little bit just black and white text with a sinking Titanic on it.
Nice.
And but some of the other stickers are really good. They've done some really outstanding graphic design on those.
There was a really tight turnaround on them as well.
Yeah.
That was really good job by them.
Yeah, definitely. And Startup Stickers are the guys that print my podcast stickers as well.
I've been using them since I found out about them from Emma and
Yeah.
Andrew at Hack24. And yeah, so far with the user groups that I organise and whatnot and things, we've probably ordered close to 4,500 stickers from them.
Nice.
So yeah, we've been back a few times.
Yeah, they are good, and it's nice to be able to support a UK business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than shipping the work off to that rather large donkey company that does a lot of stickers for everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the hackathon. Can you discuss what your hack or hacks are?
Yeah, we had some ideas on what we wanted to do, but nothing really concrete until pretty much yesterday.
Sure.
And then we came up with the idea that we wanted to do something with Starling's API, the banking company.
Yep.
They're not a hack sponsor, but with 3 of the team members, I think, have all got Starling accounts, and it's quite a cool new concept for a bank.
Sure.
Mobile first, very forward-thinking, technology-based company. So it kind of appeals to the devs in us. And we then looked at the other challenges, so Experian, with their sort of, understanding of money and making you more responsible with money side of things, and the sort of do good based challenges as well.
Sure.
So we've built a system that hooks into Starling's API. When you make a transaction, either through a card payment or a mobile payment, it takes that transaction, it rounds up the money to the nearest pound and puts that in a pot for you. And then at the end of the month, it will give you a summary of what you've effectively saved into that pot based on the amount you've round up. And then you get the option to choose where it goes between, what percentages are distributed between your savings accounts and charities that are determined based on the types of transactions you've made.
Sure.
So if you've made a lot of transactions in Nottingham, it will look for Nottingham-based charities to give you suggestions of where you might like to donate a portion of your money to at the end of the month.
Nice. That's a lot of work for 20 hours of hacking, with breaks and food and drinks and entertainment in between. Yeah, we got the API working. I found some bugs in Starling's API, which was a fun one. So they got fixed. Right. It's nice having the developers on board because I messaged them over and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll fix that. That shouldn't be like that." So cool.
Yeah, it's been a lot more controlled this year. We've been a lot more focused in what we want to do. Yeah. So it's been nice.
Awesome. So one of the other questions was, have you been to Hack24 before? But obviously you have.
Yeah, we've been here every year so far.
Sure.
I have. It's from the start. So.
And how many is that?
4. This is the 4th year. Yeah. Right. So it started off a much smaller event. Yeah. Probably only about half the people. Okay. And then after it was so popular the first year, it was like, Andrew and Emma said, we need to find a bigger venue pretty much straight away. It's been, every year's just been better and better. So
awesome. So we've done a few episodes now on hackathons. Could you give any tips to anybody that was listening that's thinking about going to one or they're going to one soon?
Yeah. With the team, we've always, from the first year, we've always decided that there's a particular thing we want to learn or a particular piece of technology we want to use that we haven't used before. So we don't do this in order to win a challenge. That's just a bonus and a side effect, if you like. We do this as we're 4 people with our, each one of us has got our peers around us who know different things about us. We've got 24 hours together to do something cool. Let's use that as an opportunity to learn from each other and look at what new and other things that are available that we might not be doing day to day, for example. So one of my biggest tips is don't go in trying to win, because that's, as Andrew mentioned yesterday actually in the opening address, you're kind of missing the point of what a hackathon's about. You're in a room full of incredibly smart, talented, interesting people. Yeah. Make the most of that. You're not going to get many opportunities to be in a room of 100 plus people that are all from all walks of life and work with all sorts of technologies. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing is, don't go in it to win, because that's not the point. It's have some fun. Yeah, sure. All right. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for coming on and talking to us. Thank you for having me. Cheers. Yeah, not a problem. Thank you. We're now joined by Chris Emerson, another fellow hacker. Welcome to Cynical Developer.
Hi, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for being on, taking some time out of your busy hacking.
No worries at all.
Yeah, especially your late stage. We're 20 hours in. So it's
getting a bit tired.
Everybody's flagging. I want to go and accost some other people, and I think I might get shouted at by some of them. There's some angry faces around the room.
Luckily, I had a bit of a lull. So.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I managed to get my head down for a couple of hours because my mind started to wander off with the fairies, and right. I need to get some sleep.
Yeah,
because I think I must be 24, 25 hours in already. Because of my early start. So. There's a mix of experiences from students to professionals to owners of companies and stuff. What do you do as a day job?
I am a software developer as a day job. So I work for a contracting company called BJSS, who contract me out to other companies. Sure. And I do some freelance work on the side as well, also software development.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a little similar to the transition I just made into the big bad world of contracting.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a little bit different from Permi, and everybody says, "Oh, contracting. It's not guaranteed work, though, is it?" Neither's Permi work anymore.
No, well, quite. But I mean, I am still full-time employed by my company, who then contract me out to others.
I see.
It's kind of best of both worlds, or maybe worse, depending on how you view it.
So you've come with a team to this event. What's your team name?
We are the Big Unknown. We've been to this hackathon every year since it started, and we've always been the big something.
Right.
So it's a bit of a tradition.
So there's a theme with your name.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. So you just said that you've been before. Why do you keep coming back? What's the draw?
Well, I'm a Nottingham resident, so I hadn't been to a hackathon before the first one of these, but it's so well organised, so well run. I really enjoyed it the first time I went. Tried it out, so I've just kept coming back basically. It's always been a really great event.
Sure. Do you come back with the same team, or is it slightly different teams every time?
Yeah, so, some of the same people, sometimes different people. We're sort of, I guess, around 5 or 6 people that we pick a team out of each time. So there have been some repeating people,
right?
Some new people each year.
Yeah. Well, this is my second one. It's almost the same team as last year, but one of the guys was going to come with his company that he works for. So we had a space. So one of our other teammates has brought a colleague along, and then unfortunately the guy that was in the team that was coming with his work, they didn't get tickets, so he's unfortunately not here.
Yeah, they do go quickly. They're very popular.
Yeah, wasn't it something like 23 seconds or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was madness. But luckily, one of us got tickets for our team.
Yeah.
So, if you can, what are your hack or hacks?
Well, this year we're focusing on trying to do something for Nottingham, which is one of the challenges, do good for Nottingham. So we've come up with a sort of transport app that will give you directions and modes of transport based on what is environmentally friendly.
Sure.
So it might direct people to drive to a park and ride and then get public transport into the city centre instead of driving all the way in, things like that. So, and we're trying to combine that with local air pollution data as well to try and work out routes to avoid.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it seems everyone I'm talking to, their hacks are just like miles above and beyond anything else that we've built. But it's really impressive with what people build in such a short space of time. Yeah,
definitely. I've seen some other great ones. I'm not sure how well we'll do compared to them, but there's always some really impressive things around.
Yeah, I've noticed a couple walking around with some really nice UI and interactions and stuff, and I suppose it looks nice, but whether it does anything is another thing, and I think it's a hard toss-up between functionality and something demoable as an idea for a hack.
Yeah, definitely. Although with this hackathon it's slightly different in that you submit a video at the end, so sometimes you can, sort of just make it work in the background and show the idea, show the concept, and that's the thing that counts towards it, really.
Yeah, and that's something I guess for you guys out there listening to think about, is that if you're a little bit scared of getting up on stage in front of people at the end of the event, especially after being awake for 24 or 48 hours, however long the event is, and talking about what you've done, not all events do that. Like Hack24 is video based.
Yeah,
we've been out and running around the city this morning, trying to put together some of our videos.
Yeah, it's often something that we end up leaving to the last minute, and then suddenly remember we have to submit, and it's a bit of a rush towards the end, but we get there in the end.
Yeah. Our video last year I think was something like 5 minutes, so it's 2 minutes over what it should have been, and it was more about our journey as a team and what we produced. Whereas when we watched the finale with Andrew talking through it and showing the winning videos, we realised it's about the app, not about the team.
Yes.
So that's what we focused on today.
Yes, we've still got that to come as well. So we haven't even started thinking about that yet.
We've done 2 hacks. One of them is to help homeless people in Nottingham to get help from people. So it's like a GPS locator. You see a homeless person and you can say, "Oh, they're here. This is the problem they've got." It sends it off to a homeless charity that can then send somebody out to assist.
Okay.
So we've had Jamie Taylor from the Waffling Taylors podcast, playing a homeless guy. And we've got Paul Seal from coachhair.co.uk reporting him. We did have some ideas for some funny bits of videos, but it was deemed that it was slightly offensive what we were going to do.
You got to be careful around these areas.
Yeah. So we've cut it down, and it's quite a nice little application. It's,
excellent. Sounds good.
Yeah. So, have you got any tips for anybody that's coming to their first hackathon or to coming to their next hackathon anytime soon?
I'd say, I think my attitude and our team's attitude all along has just been to try and have some fun, try and create something good, not necessarily go after the prizes, go hard after the competition, but just try and get something out of the weekend, learn something new perhaps. Yeah. It's not all about the competition, it's just about being creative for a weekend. Okay. As long as you can feel like that you've achieved something over the weekend, and I generally have a pretty good time.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it seems to be a trend. I think a lot of people do get a little bit what's the word, blinkered by the prizes.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially last year, we had quite a large cash prize for winning, but I don't think there is this year. I was saying to the team before, I was flagging a little bit earlier, and I was sat there thinking, why the hell did I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to come and sit in a room with a load of other developers to win some prizes that I could just buy?
Yeah.
But when that cloud lifts again, you remember it's not about that. It's about enjoying yourself, and I definitely have enjoyed myself so far.
Absolutely. And I heard your podcast with Andrew as well, talking about how they sometimes have to ask them to offer less as a prize because of that reason.
It makes it too cutthroat and people get over enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, I won't take up too much more of your time. Thank you for coming on.
No worries at all.
Yeah, and I wish you luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Cheers.
We're now joined by Mark Davis. He is another hacker at Hack24. So welcome to the Cynical Developer, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for taking some time out. We are getting ever closer to the deadline. I think we've got an hour and 45 minutes left before hacking stops, and you've got to start building new videos and stuff.
Yep.
Cool. So what do you do as a day job?
So I'm a full-time developer.
Yeah.
Working here in Nottingham.
Okay.
Is it okay if I mention the company name? Yeah, I work for Ascendex. I'm actually here representing them today.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, and they are also one of the challenge setters as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, have you been to one of these before?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. So, why did you come? Was it forced on you by work, or
no,
was it something
definitely
that you wanted
not.
to do?
No. So, I really enjoy the challenge of programming and kind of this idea of packing an idea into 24 hours and like trying to get something off the ground and like showing it off to fellow peers and stuff just sounded really exciting to me.
Yeah.
So thought I'd give it a go.
Yeah. And what have you thought of it so far?
Really enjoyed the event.
Yeah.
Obviously a bit sleep deprived, but yeah, it's been really good. Learned a lot about some new APIs and played around with a few new frameworks and stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. It's good. What's your team name? I'm assuming you've come with a team.
Yes. So our team name is a bit unoriginal, unfortunately. We are called Team Ascendexes.
Right. Okay.
That was not forced upon us by the company. That is just a team name that I actually made up because it was kind of hard to bring people together to actually come up with an idea of a team name.
Yeah. So I guess the teammates that you come with are from Ascendex as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it makes sense. It does make sense. And the teams here are made up for different people, different levels, come from different walks of life. My teammates, one of them I've never met before today, before the start of this weekend. The other two guys I actually met through another podcast, and then we met for the first time at Hack24 last year.
Oh, cool.
So this is our second hackathon.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so it's been very different this time round. Very, very different. We took it a little bit too seriously last year, and this year we've been a little bit calmer.
Yeah.
We've pretty much finished our hacks. We're just putting together the videos.
Yeah.
It's nice and chilled, whereas we were like typing up until 12 o'clock, and it was a quick build and deploy at 12 and try and do a video at the same time. It was a little bit hectic. But
Yeah, I have to say, like, seeing as most of our team, this is kind of their first event, we didn't want to take it too seriously. Just came up with an idea and just said to ourselves, let's just like have fun rather than taking it like super seriously. But obviously, put our names down for most of the challenges to try and get some of that cool swag.
Yeah, definitely. Even though it's about having fun, there's always the free stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The prizes are always a draw. But you said there about your idea. What hack have you done? Have you done multiple hacks?
Yeah, so our primary hack is around the Ascendex challenge. So their challenge is to help the city of Nottingham. So we've built an application that you kind of take pictures on your phone of kind of nuisances around the city, be it graffiti, be it litter, be it rowdy behavior almost, and that will like pinpoint on a map where that has occurred, and then other users of the application can kind of come along and see if they can actually help that situation.
That's good. I like that. I'm based in North Wales, and the council there in my area have got something a little similar to that, but it's really badly implemented. Now you can go onto the website and take photos of like fly tipping or stuff like that. Yeah. And it gets sent off to the council. The council will come out and sort it out. And I have reported a few things, and they have been removed. But it's really clunky. It's really hard to use. It's really hard to find on their website. It took me a good sort of 15, 20 minutes to actually find it, even though I found a link through Google that said, go here and report any problems. So seeing something that's a little bit more innovative, or innovative, I think is the word I'm looking for, will be pretty cool. And the myriad of different ideas that are coming out of this event is pretty spectacular. Yeah, so you're saying that was your primary?
That was kind of our primary.
So you've got a few others then as well?
Yeah, so of course, like some of the other sponsors kind of set out challenges. So for example, the Microsoft with their cognitive services, we kind of took a keen interest in that. So seeing as we're taking pictures and taking descriptions of events, we're calling into their API to kind of get a description of what the image actually shows.
Sure, you're using the object recognition API that they've got.
Yeah, and it's been really fantastic. And we've been using the sentiment API to kind of... so if you kind of give a description of this is really bad, something must be done right now, it kind of gives you a low score, and we can maybe prioritize that over something that's not as bad.
Urgent, that's good. As a team, we did 4 different hacks to start with, and we sort of picked the best and the ones that were more applicable, something we could do a good video on. And my idea was around the Microsoft services, and I was using the facial recognition to gauge emotion, because what I had an idea of is a mirror that you would put in an elderly relative's house. Because it might just be me, but whenever I walk past a mirror or a shiny surface, I've got to look at it. So it was designed that if you walk past it, it would pick your face out, it would send it off to the cognitive service, come back, and depending on the emotional state of that person, based off this API, if you were seen to be very stressed or upset, it could then use the Ascendex service to send an SMS to your next of kin to say, look, something not quite right. Phone them, call them, call around to the house, see if they're okay. but I was getting a little bit offended because it tells you your age.
Oh, okay.
And it got my age right twice, and then the rest of it just made me really old. And I was sat there and trying to pull faces at it, angry faces, sad faces, to try and get the values to change. And I must have the most unexpressive face ever, because it just kept back coming neutral, surprised, neutral. But that was quite good. I think I might actually pick that up again outside and play with it.
Yeah,
because the cognitive services are quite interesting.
Yeah. Been really easy to kind of integrate with. I don't know your experience, but it's kind of the examples that they show, and it's almost like a copy and paste, and like you can almost just get going like really, really quickly.
Yeah, I had some issues because I wanted to use the emotions one really, and all the documentation on the website tells you there's a separate API.
Right.
But then speaking to the Microsoft guys at the event, they've actually got rid of the emotions API and pushed it all into the facial recognition API.
Oh, okay.
But all the website still says it's
a
on its
separate
own.
endpoint.
And all of the sample code
Yeah.
has it down as its own API. So that took some figuring out, and then I finally got to the point where I'd had enough of trying to work it out myself. And went and spoke to I think the guy's name is Mark, I believe. And he went, oh yeah, it's all been merged. I was like, right. As soon as I sat back down and tried it with the merged version, it worked.
I guess you're really glad that they were here to actually help you out with that.
Yeah, it was, because it's very easy to get that imposter syndrome here, because there's so many different people with different skill levels. You start thinking, oh my god, I'm awful at this. What am I doing?
Yeah, you kind of look around the room and see people kind of typing away like madmen, and you're just there like entering keys, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, some of the people I've spoken to have had some really in-depth applications, whether they've just described what the intention of the hack does, and it's not what they've actually achieved over the 24 hours, but some of them they're pretty mind-blowing, to be fair. So as I say, we're almost 24 hours. We've got an hour and a half or so left now. In your first sort of 22 hours-ish of a hackathon, what have you learned? What would you do different next time?
So the one massive thing I think I've learned personally is definitely prepare your environment for this event. So as soon as the klaxon went off, my computer shut down and installed a Windows update.
Nice.
And there is a great photo on Twitter of like the event kickoff, and I'm just there with a blue screen with a spinning dial. I felt so useless in the first 2 hours. So definitely prepare your environment. Have an idea of, it's the second piece of advice, is definitely have an idea of where you're actually going to deploy your application.
Yep.
So we kind of halfway through the event kind of decided to push it onto Azure, but seeing as that was such a kind of easy thing to do, it only took us like an hour and a half or something to actually get it into Azure, and the other half of our team could actually call into our API.
Right.
But definitely have an idea before you come of like where you're actually going to host this thing to actually show it off.
Sure.
Because I think that was like a major stumbling point for us, because we kind of split our team down the middle. Like 2 of us took the back end, 2 of us took the front end, and we got to a point where the front end guys needed to call the back end, but we had nowhere to host it, so we were just like, maybe Azure.
Yeah, that's it's some good advice there. And we had a show that came out just before the event this weekend, and that's a little bit confusing for you guys out there that are listening because of time shifting. But I gave some tips for if you're going to come to an event, what to expect, and setting up your environment is one I don't think I spoke about, and I think that's a really, really good one. Especially since, yes, there's Wi-Fi at the event, but as soon as you start the event, everybody's trying to download all the APIs, they're trying to download all the SDKs, and you're down to a snail's pace. So be prepared with that. If you know what SDKs and that you're going to need, make sure you've got them downloaded before and installed if you can. And if not, then because you're not allowed to write any code or anything before, so adding NuGet packages and npm packages and stuff like that can be a bit of a problem. Be prepared to tether yourself to your mobile phone if you can on the data. I know I've used a lot of data this weekend.
Yes, hopefully it is at the hack event is at the beginning of the month, so you haven't used data in the month to like go over in the hack event. Definitely. Sure. Be very prepared to tether to your phone.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm not going to take up too much more of your time because I know time is very precious in these last couple of hours. So thank you for coming on and talking to us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks for listening to Cynical Developer. I'm James Stoddart, and you've been listening to a load of people at a hackathon. If you have any questions about this or any other episode, then drop us an email, a tweet, or leave a comment on the website where you can find all the resource links, show notes for each episode. And if you enjoy this episode, please leave a review on your favourite podcast platform, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever it is, and help the Cynical Developer to reach more developers around the globe.